Hello, comic book fans. If you're a Spidey fan here, this is a good one for you to enjoy. Now, don't miss out on the next comic book adventure. Hit that like and subscribe button to enjoy the videos we drop. So, what's the story? It goes a little something like this. Boy meets radioactive spider, spider bites boy gets spider-like powers, and what did boy do with these powers? Right wrongs, fight crimes, protect the innocent? Nah. Boy wanted to be a TV sensation overnight. They were my powers to use how I wanted. That made me better than everybody else, right? Wrong. Soon after, the man who was like a father to me was shot by a thief that I could have stopped 100 different ways. If I did, Uncle Ben would still be here today. I will never make that same mistake again. I've been given a great power, and with it must also come great responsibility. That means when push comes to shove, my normal life always takes a back seat to the spider powers and spider enemies I have picked up over the years. And I have found a way to get paid doing it with an automatic camera. I could snap shots of my Spidey fights and sell them to the Daily Bugle. It does bug Peter Parker that my photos are used to make Spidey look bad, but it pays the bills and I could look the other way. That was then. Now is a different story. New owner, Dexter Bennett, wants Peter to take pics that made other people look bad. Eventually, that's where I drew the line. Now, out of work and blacklisted by everyone who wants to stay on Bennett's good side. Rent is due in a few days, and roomie Vin Gonzalez is not gonna let my half of the rent slide. Not even his good friend Harry Osborn, who is like a brother to Pete, would hire him at the coffee shop and tie him down to a 9-to-5 job. Harry has a good point. How can Peter keep regular work hours when facing down a new threat after another? Let's not forget Menace here, who has it in for anyone voting for Harvester, or anyone who dares interfere. Anyone like Spidey.
Huh?
Menace doesn't see it coming. The name Menace, let's be honest here, is just another goblin, which is getting kinda old. This will be the 4th Green Goblin, 2 Hobgoblins, 3 Fembot Goblins, Grey Goblin, Demo Goblin, Future Goblin, Friend Goblin, Shrimp Goblin, Goblin on Toast. This goblin even has personalized his gear. How cute. This one I will nickname Mock Goblin, the one I will mock the most. Spidey jumps as far as he could, but he can feel the whole wall coming down. I can only hope everyone below is clear of the blast. I must have pulled something. Ever wonder what it means to have proportionate strength of a spider? Today, it means lifting the side of a building. Stuff of legends. People have bought into the news they read about Spider-Man, that Spider-Man is a serial killer. But Spider-Man reminds himself that it doesn't matter. He's not doing it for fame anymore. He does it because he has to. That's the man he chose to be, the guy who saves lives. That's odd. Wave after wave of people coming out from the building. But they look more worried about being seen than they are of the building coming down on them. Don't need spider sense to know there's more than meets the eye here. A quick check to make sure no one is trapped inside. They are doing the same scamper I have been doing for years. The beat it before the cops show up dash. Peter calls his good friend Harry for help. See, Bennett has blacklisted Peter, and the Pulitzer pictures he just took would be a big story. Peter's wondering if Harry knows anyone from the coffee shop who can front him the money for the pics and take all the glory. But Harry has better advice for Peter. If Bennett is Peter's enemy, use Bennett's enemies to his advantage. Play them off each other. There has to be a paper out there that will run the pics just to spite Bennett. Harry has done it again. The officers of the front line, Ben's Uric little paper that could. Pure mayhem, run this story, kill the first one and run the second one. No one knows who that was meant for. Bennett has no problem poaching the best reporters from here. One look at Peter and they know he has some of his world-class pictures with him to share. Exclusive shots from the disaster downtown before the rest of the building collapsed. Hundreds of people crammed in there with row after row of hand-operated machines. An illegal sweatshop at the heart of the city. And Sally's sources has given her a tip on that address. And you will never guess who owns it. None other than mayoral candidate Randall Crone. In Randall's high-rise office is a man whose good name with good standing polls, whose company profits are on a downward trend. It has to stop. That's why he called a good friend to meet with him. A good friend who can do anything. Mr. Law and Order who America can't get enough of. If he was to back Randall, it could secure an election win. But nothing comes for free. Yesterday, he had access to Randall's secret resources. Today, he needs a very special hunting permit. Proper zoning for a victory parade. Randall is all in already. What's a little more? A deal with Norman Osborn makes him a crown man, or more like the power behind the crown. Thunderbolts Mountain, Colorado, home of America's top team of hero hunters. Their purpose is to take out as many unlicensed heroes as quickly as possible. And there are so many heroes to choose from. One hero isn't enough for Bullseye. Not when he has a full deck. The point of the exercise is to only go after unlicensed heroes. But Venom is on a roll and can't help himself. Exercise terminated. A call from Director Osborn means they need to settle up and are going to New York ASAP. Songbird wondered what is in New York, but Venom, he doesn't have to wonder. Over at the Daily Bugle, Bennett's running another Spider-Man serial killer story, with Randall on the other end of the line. They both agree to have the city so terrified of Spider-Man. Bennett is not happy he lost the big scoop to a rinky-dink rag called The Front Line. That cannot happen again. Nor can Miss Brandt report on Crown's sweatshop scandal. Bennett supports Crown in his candidacy. That makes the Daily Bugle a Crown paper. To balance things out, Miss Brandt will run a counter-scandal on a billionaire, who just so happens to be one of Hollister's biggest supporters. Bennett is serious. He wants Miss Brandt to dig dirt on Martin the Martyr Lee, the founder of Feast Homeless Shelters. Philanthropist of the Year. No one is that squeaky clean. Everyone has a dark side, and it is Miss Brandt's job to find his dark side. There are reports bordering on the absurd that terminally ill people in his shelters are miraculously being healed. Bennett knows it is a load of lies waiting to be exposed. The disappointment in Aunt May. She knows the Daily Bugle paper is pure filth running a smear campaign on Hollister. And now Martin Lee? But Martin sees the good. This publicity for the shelter will only help, and he has nothing to hide. Betty Brandt questions what the physicians are prescribing here, and how they account for the miracle healings with these drugs. Before she can probe deeper, she sees Eddie Brock, who was dying of cancer. How is he still alive? Eddie is here today because instead of being a cancer victim, he chose to be a cancer survivor. Venom is what made him sick from the inside out, and he got rid of it, cast it out and filled the void with faith. That is how Martin met Mr. Brock, praying for forgiveness at the same church he prayed for vengeance. Martin offered Brock a path, a job at Feast. As Eddie sought to find a new future for himself, Eddie was exonerated, and proved to the court that Eddie Brock was not in control while the venom bonded with his body and mind. Eddie is a new man. The cancer was in the later stages, and he is one of those so-called miracles. Who are we to question that? It gave him strength, a reason to keep fighting. Where is the harm in that? Alphabet City, Lower East Side. Peter and Ben are done for the day. Sure, he got paid more at the Daily Bugle, but Peter knows he also paid the price with his integrity. A good day's work, a lousy day's pay, but for the first time in a long time, he took photos he was proud of, and doesn't need to wash off the tabloid slime as soon as he got home. What the? Spider sense kicked in. Peter moved out in time.
Huh?
It must be an honest mistake. Come on guys, the tag set off the alarms at the Gap store, but he went back to pay for the clothes. These guys are not impressed with his smart mouth. But Peter can't show off anymore without giving away his secret identity. So Peter doesn't put up much of a fight. Better play along for now. The way these guys hit, I'm thinking they must come from the Baby Gap department. What's the deal here? Why didn't they want me inside my own apartment? I was heading in anyway. Well, who do we have here? How does Peter play this one out? And what are they doing in his apartment? You can find out more with future videos here by liking and subscribing to our channel. And check out our related merch with links found in the description. Now, thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time viewing the video, and we'll see you on the next one.